So let's continue with the fracturing setup, and this is where we left off, and I have two layers, top and bottom, and I'm gonna process them a bit more. So what I ended up doing is, because we did the fracture here, we did restore the point position, so now we have a flat plane, and then we extruded that. I wanted this to be similar to what the Voronoi does. What the Voronoi node provides us is with an outside and inside, and that would be the top and bottom, and then everything inside is the inside, obviously. So I wanted to replicate that, and we can do that by, after we extrude, we just name the front and back outside, and then the inside, the side group to be the inside, and that gives us the structure that we need. I then grouped this geometry into top and bottom. So I have one group top and one group bottom, okay? And I also grouped the top points only from one mesh, and the bottom points of the other mesh. Okay, it doesn't matter, we just need one group, that's it. And then I'm gonna process them to up-res them with the geometry. So here it's a bit more different. It has more details, so I'm going to focus on this part, which is the thin top layer. And because we have those groups, we don't have groups yet for this, we just use the normal. So I used three normals, one pointing up, and that leaves me with the faces that are facing upward, and because it's a flat, it works perfect, no issue at all. And then we have the inside, which we have a group for. So this is all my interior faces, and then the bottom, which is basically everything that is pointing downward. Okay, so let's see for this one. We don't need this part, this is for the up-res, which I didn't use. So this is the top part. Okay, I'm gonna project that into this terrain, which is the high-res version. Okay, so this is my terrain. So let's take a look. This is after projecting it. Okay, so it's flat here, and then after projection, like that. But I wanted to, instead of, earlier we just extruded this, so this top part is the same. I didn't want that. I want the top to be different than the bottom. So instead of just an extrude, I wanted to take those bottom points and project them down into a different version of the plane, of the terrain. And this is how I've done it. So we have the inside faces, okay? We also have the bottom. So let's take a look at the bottom. This one, I don't need it to be a copy of the top. So instead, I'm gonna take that terrain, this version, okay? And I'm gonna do something to it. I'm gonna rotate it, I'm gonna transform it, I'm gonna make it different. And that's what I did. I negated it and then scaled it. It's not that different, but it's inverse, so it's not exactly the same as an extrude. Okay, so then I took the bottom part here and rayed that. So this is my bottom bits. Let's put down a null and see it. Okay, so this is my bottom, and you can see, because where is it? So let's remove the template. Because it's above my terrain, my surface, I got these flat planes because they didn't cast on anything. The plane is not intersecting with everything, and if I just move it up and down like this, or yeah, if I move this up and down, I would get a different result. Okay, so this bottom face is not the same at the top, and that's what I was looking for. Cool. So then we need to match the inside, because they are now all over the place. We need to fix them. So what I've done is I took those and I grouped everything at the top points, and also the bottom. So both of these points. And I used two rays. One ray node is to take the top points and project them onto the surface, so that fixes the upper edge, and then the bottom edge I'm gonna project into this version. Okay, so this the bottom edge is gonna be projected down. You can see here the vectors, and this is -1. So if we look now, let me put down a merge node, a null node, so we can see it. So here I have the interior, and I'm gonna put down 2 nodes to make sure that you guys understand this part. So we have 2 things, or 3 things. We have points at the top, that's all I have, points at the bottom here, and then 1 ray node that's going to project these points onto the top surface, okay, the one that is above. And then the second one is going to project the bottom points down onto the second geometry, okay? And that's how I got my top and bottom faces to match. Now if I merge everything back, that's my new surface. And you can see the top and bottom are not exactly the same. I mean, they are a reflection, but we can totally fix that. If you wanted to completely change it, we can do this. We can go to this surface and then rotate it 180 degree. So it's different. We could add noise as well. If we want to change it, we could definitely do that. And now if we take a look, top and bottom are not the same. And I did the same thing for the exactly the same setup here for the other section, which is thicker. So this is the thicker part, and then I combined all of it together, and this is my final geometry that I used for destruction. Now I've made 2 versions. I didn't use the high res, I believe, in the final render, but I'm gonna show it because it's cached. So this X3 mesh is actually an up-res version with extra noise added on top. Okay, it's too high res. I'm not gonna use this. And what I've done is, if you see this remesh here, that's what I had on, and I put the switch to toggle caching high res and low res, but I didn't end up using this. This is the final mesh that I used for destruction. And you can see also I scaled it down. It was a 1 scale, and then I thought it's just too thick, you know, too much details, too big cavities, so I scaled it down like this. And that's the one in the final. And then the rest will be blended later, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But this is the final mesh. This is how I did it, and now we're going to continue and start looking at the ground collapse. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.